Hey gents, Carl here with Tactical Rifleman. Me and Chad out here in the light rain, and Chad reminded me we haven't done this month's quick shooting tip. Guns clear. And what to talk about out in the rain, but you guys notice I'm still testing this ACRO by Aimpoint. And it's an enclosed optic on a pistol. Now, a lot of you have asked, well, Carl, I've tried shooting a red dot on a pistol. I know some people say it's faster, it's better, but it's just not for me. I've tried it out. Now, here's the deal. 20 years ago, 25, no, longer than that, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, when the red dot optics first showed up for rifles, they were an open emitter, like a Seymour, kind of like the RMR on the pistols. And everybody's like, they take batteries. They're going to break because it's got glass. You don't want it on a combat gun. Fast forward 5-6 years later, every combat rifle now has an optic on it. Likewise, there's a lot of people running red dots on combat guns now. This is the first one that's really enclosed, so I like it. I'm here to tell you this is the future of combat pistols. All combat pistols will have an enclosed optic on them in the future. Next 5-8 years, this is what you're going to see on all combat pistols. Maybe not the Acro because it's new, but there will, all the red dots will be enclosed. So look at it, especially if you guys with the older eyes, you're saying, Carl, my astigmatism's bad. I'm having a hard time seeing a red dot. I'm having a hard time seeing my sights. Actually, you may find a red dot on a pistol might actually be better for you, because what it allows you to do is now you're focused out on the target. You're not having to focus on that close in sight alignment. In order to shoot a regular pistol accurately at distance, you've got to line up that rear sight with that front sight. Those right angles have got to be perfect. And to get long range pistol shots, you've got to really focus on making sure that they are perfectly aligned. But your focal plane has to be on the sights. Combat shooting, especially guys with bad astigmatism, your eyesight's getting bad, you can't focus at arm's reach. While you wear reading glasses, you have to hold things way out here. You may find a red dot on a pistol is gonna be better for you, because what it's allowing you to do is you're able to focus just on the target, press the gun out, and you're good to go. So you may want to try it, and even if you don't, trust me, it's in your near future whether you want to do it or not. There are advantages. However, those of you that say you've tried it and, well, Carl, it's just not for me, it's not for me. That brings us to this month's quick shooting tip. People will use the excuse, well, I can't find the dot. The reason why you can't find the dot is because how you're presenting that pistol with your iron sights is you're establishing that good grip, but when you draw, as you're pressing it out, you bring it up under your dominant eye, everything's correct so far. As you're pressing it out, you're acquiring that front sight immediately, and as you continue to press that front sight out, as you're coming to full arm extension, what happens is the rear sight comes up behind the gun. Now, we all talk about on the draw, as soon as you draw, you want to immediately point the firearm at the target. Yes, but our angle, we're not so focused on that. We're aimed in the direction of the target. If I had to shoot from here, I can. And with iron sights, what you're doing is as you're pressing it out, you actually have the gun tipped up a little. You do. Now, so is it actually pointed at the bad guy at distance? It's not, right? So what you're doing is you're acquiring that front sight first. If you look from the side, the gun is canted slightly up. I'm acquiring that front sight. I'm driving it to the target. And as I come to full arm extension, that rear sight lines up and I can roll through that trigger. That's how you're used to doing it with iron sights. So the problem you're running into with that dot is there's no front sight for you to find, right? As you're pressing it out, you're not able to see that red dot until you've actually got the whole front of the gun pointed. So in other words, you're not seeing that red dot until the last minute. Now, if you're running higher, taller front sight posts, you can find it looking through. Not necessary. All you have to do is just modify how you present the gun. Instead of presenting it as you're coming up at an angle and pressing out that straight front sight, just get in the habit of curving that presentation up a little closer to your body, and as you're pushing it out, you're able to look through that window. The key is to have the gun level immediately, because then as you're pressing it out, as soon as you see that red dot, brother, you know you're on target. All right? So it's not that you can't find that red dot. It's too hard for me to find the dot. It's too hard for you to find the dot because you're not really pointing the gun at the target until the last minute. So modify your muscle memory so that as you present the gun is already pointed at the target, and as you press it out, what you'll find is just doing repetitions. You can do this dry firing. You can do it while you're sitting on the couch watching TV. Right? You can do it driving down the highway like I do. Don't do it with other cars around. Right? But as you're pressing out, you develop that muscle memory of that. As you present the gun, the front of the whole slide of the pistol is perfectly level with the target. So as soon as you see that dot, you're on target. Now, what you're going to find is when you go back to iron sights, your iron sights are going to line up perfect. So it's hard yes, it is hard for you to go from iron sights to a red dot. But what you're going to find is if you shoot a red dot for a while, going back to iron sights is not going to be that hard if you modify the way that you present the gun. So anyways, that's this month's quick shooting tip. Shoot that red dot, and what you'll find is it's going to make you a better combat presenter of the gun, because you're now pointing that slide at that bad guy even quicker by keeping the slide level as soon as you clear the holster. That makes sense? It does for me, and if you actually try it out at the range, you're going to find that it actually does for you also. So anyways, that's all I got this week. Again, guys, thanks for being patrons here. Thanks for your continued support. And I'll see you next month. Y'all take care. Shoot straight.